Have you ever been gaming or working online classes and your internet service constantly gets interrupted? First Nations Fiber is about to ensure that just won't happen again. Get ready for high speed at a new level. Click on fnfiber.com and sign up today. First Nations Fiber, empowering people through connectivity.
Sego Zeogwego, and welcome to Kwakaratón, the Kahnawake Tourism podcast, the very first episode. We're joined by Kimberly Cross-Zachary and Trevor Daibo from Kahnawake Tourism. Welcome.
Gwe. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming and to your Riwase to do this podcast series. So it should be a very informative series to take place over the next year. So we're very excited about this. Can we get an introduction of who you guys are and a little bit more information about Kahnawake Tourism?
Sure. So I guess I'll start off. Trevor Daibo. I am the interim tourism development agent. Right now, I am currently the supervisor in the office. So basic everyday tasks, just making sure that Kahnawake Tourism continues business as usual, making sure that everything flows properly.
So Gwe, Kimberly Ganyadahawe Cross Yajats, that's my name. And I am the tourism development manager at Kahnawake Tourism. I'm currently on a leave of absence. Trevor's filling in for me, thankfully. And I'm currently studying at the Ganyagahaga Unguana Erdaw di Jokwa Erdaw di Wanahir, that's language program for Ganyagaha language. So that's a 2-year program. So my role at Kahnawake Tourism, I began when we first started this initiative in 2013. So that's almost 10 years ago. And we've been, our team spearheading the movement for tourism development in every single aspect, which we hope to really dive into in this podcast series. And so right now I'm working with our team throughout the summer. And I'll be helping them with all the special projects and helping onboard because we have so many new team members that'll be coming on this summer. So onboarding those team members. Yeah, making sure everything's running smoothly as well, like Trevor said, and doing fun things like this podcast.
I think people are familiar with Kahnawake Tourism, but maybe they're not quite familiar with what Kahnawake Tourism does. So can you give us, I guess a brief overview of some of the things that you guys do?
Yeah. Our main activities are running the Welcome Center. So for those who aren't aware, the Kahnawake Welcome Center is located in the heart of the village of Kahnawake, right next to Cattery Hall and sharing the same parking lot as the Kahnawake Youth Center. So in that office, we act as our local information office for any visitors or locals coming through. We provide maps to the community, which have all the local businesses, all the local attractions. We also coordinate many, many tours within the community. And that's something that we started maybe 6 or 7 years ago because we saw the demand and there wasn't any organizations or community members really taking that lead and that action to coordinate, our tours that were coming to the community. So we began doing that and it's really taken off. And we've had such good feedback from our visitors, from a lot of community members as well. And they visit the Welcome Center. They do a tour of the historical village area. They visit the St. Cattery Shrine and the Interpretive Center for Cattery de Kakwita. And then the Ganyagahaga Unguwana Erdaw di Jokwa Language and Cultural Center Museum as well. So we work on that a lot. We have a coordinator specifically for those visits. We coordinate a lot of events. So we hope to share within the community with our visitors our culture through these special events that we plan. So we do food fests. And those are, like I said, all around our culture. So all around food, because everything we do in our culture involves food. And around our ceremonies. So we have a Maple Fest, we have the Strawberry Fest, we have a Corn Fest and a Harvest Fest. And, we're always looking to expand those and we participate in various different community activities and then different projects within the community that might be related to tourism, like working on the recreational bay area, working on signage within the community,
So we have a musical park project in the works. We're hoping to put that near the Quebec Bridge Memorial. We're also hoping to have a longhouse built. That's another project we're doing with some community members. And hopefully that will actually bring in more tourists who can, learn more about our culture, because we do have certain things that they can see. There's some activities for them, but this will just add to our repertoire. And yeah, we also attend events that are international. We've been to Winnipeg for the ITAC conference this year, as well as Ottawa for a conference. We travel everywhere, just to kind of stay in the loop with anything tourism related within the industry. And yeah.
And I think a lot of Indigenous communities are looking to Kahnawake Tourism at our development and how far we've come in the 10 years and what we're doing. And, we base a lot of what we're doing on community engagement and making sure that we're not growing at this huge speed where we're going to really, affect the environment and where it's going to be too many people in our residential areas. We don't want that. So we're looking at activities that are going to make sure visitors are in certain locations, that our residents are safe, our visitors are safe, and that we're sharing and that we're not overdoing it as well. So we're sharing properly. We're creating a tourism advisory board this year, hoping to get a good collective of community members who can really steer us in the right direction. But yeah, I hope that we can really get into all of this, during this series, and so people can learn a lot more.
Why is it important for tourism to happen in our community?
Well, I think, I laugh, I joke about this with a lot of the Indigenous tourism industry colleagues that I have. And, as Ungwehunwe people, we were one of the first tourism industry workers. Weren't we? So,
we started it all.
When the settlers came from Europe and they were here, who welcomed them to our shores? Who showed them around and shared our culture to begin with.
And we're like, welcome to China, which is why it's machine.
We're the Indians. No, we laugh about that stuff within the industry because it's true. We've been doing this for a real long time and we're pretty good at it. So, one of the really, really important things about tourism is it's not just about making money, as a lot of people might think. I mean, that's one of the benefits. But it's about really connecting with others and being able to practice your culture every single day and be really proud to share it. Like one for myself, just going on tours and learning about history within our community, like every single day at work, I'm learning something new. And it really, really solidifies so much internal pride and community pride. And I can see it moving forward where a lot of people are able to make, maybe a living off of practicing our own culture, getting back to that and not relying on modern jobs so much.
Yeah. So, I mean, as Kim said, boosting the local economy is, one of the main objectives. We try to send tourists to local restaurants, to boutiques, to certain organizations that have activities like Reel'em and Fishing. We've recently been working with them lately. We try to educate tourists as much as possible. We came up with the term edutainment to both educate and entertain tourists, because we find that it's not just about keeping them interested, but we also need to educate them because the education system has failed our people. People come here with certain views that may be wrong. They may not know anything at all about our culture. So we just kind of have to share what we know just to change the narrative a little bit.
Yeah, and it's not just the Canadian system either. It's all around. It's international. We have visitors coming in from Germany, from France, from Africa, who, they're saying, we have these books and it talks about the Indians and all these things that happen. And then they come and then he's like, and now I'm here and I meet you and it's not the same, but they had similar things happen to them, within the different empires in quotation marks, can't see my fingers, but that went around the world, and did so much, genocide and, cultural genocide as well throughout the whole world. So we see those similarities with a lot of our visitors that are coming in from around the world that, it didn't happen to just us. And then we connect with other Ungwehue people. And it's so nice, to have that extended family of Ungwehue. And it's really cool. The tourism industry has a lot of potentials, and we're exploring all the different ways that we can make that happen in Kahnawake for what we need.
So tourism, it's about, part of it is economic development, part of it is teaching history as people are coming in and relearning about who we are, right? And Quebec Indigenous Affairs Minister Ian Lafreniere at a recent press conference unveiling a public art installation in Montreal, and even talking about the new cultural center building that's going to be going up, said that a recent survey of Quebecers saying that nearly 90% of Quebecers want to learn about, Indigenous people because their education system doesn't do any justice, right? And I mean, for the longest time, most of the curriculum just, puts us as des Iroquois and as the enemy, right? And Francophone friends who grew up being told horror stories that the mean Iroquois were going to steal them at night. So it's we have to battle those.
Did you tell them that our stories say that the Francophone guy is going to come and get them at night?
No, we said the actual history. We said the RCP came and steal our kids.
Yeah, it's really neat, that we're able to do that, and we have so many schools that are reaching out to us, and we've kind of diverted our attention to creating these school itineraries for school groups to come in as a class or a whole grade and do our tour. And we make it really kid friendly, because our tour at the beginning was more like for adults that were coming in, and we don't have that many children's activities within the community that are like fun for just like a walk-in tourist. Like I wouldn't do it with my family for the day, spending a day in museums. So we really catered to those school groups, and we add in like a lacrosse demonstration. We teach them how to play lacrosse and the importance and the history. Or they'll do like a souvenir making workshop where they've done little bookmarks made out of black ash. This was before we had like the black ash borer wipe out a lot of our ash. We've done where they made rattles with various different artisans in the community. So we reach out as far as we can, and we take the skills that we have and the people who are willing to do it and share and want to make that extra, income by doing this. And it's really been so effective. We have so many school groups calling us end of year and beginning of the year to come, and it's picked up so much. Even one of our tour guides is Dwayne Stacy. He was our part-time tour guide last year, and the New Frontier School Board picked him up, and he's their Indigenous advisor, yep. I think is his title. And so he works for New Frontier School Board and helps the classes incorporate more Indigenous anything into their curriculum, or coordinates the visits here into Kahnawake or into other sites, like maybe the Drooler site where they have the archaeology in the Longhouse. See, it shows how people want to learn, and they want to really do it genuinely and respectfully. So, it's opening up all these different doors for our people.
And you're talking about different activities that tourism is involved with, mm-hmm. or tourism related events in the community. And there's a couple of big ones coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess the first one would be the powwow, which will be July 8th and 9th. Last year we had, the most tourists come in at roughly 16,000. That number may actually increase this year, seeing as COVID kind of disappeared off the radar now. And because we're doing so much more advertising, we may actually see, closer to 20,000. And that's double what we've seen in previous years, So
yeah, usually we'd get around 8,000 on the weekend, and we doubled our size in last year, which was amazing and frightening at the same time. There's so many people.
It was packed.
It was insane.
And it was hot.
We had great weather, and like, knock on wood, I'm not going to knock because the mics are going to pick it all. But knock on wood that this year, we have great weather again. Yeah, planning has been going on, and the site has been prepped for a few months now. Like the workers have been getting it going, and it's really a huge event. It's a nice event. When people ask me, what's my favorite part about powwow, I'm like, I get to see my family. And they laugh at me. They're like, you live down the road. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes you only see your cousins at powwow. But then you see your extended family, some people who come in, and it's just a nice time where we all get to gather and spend that time together.
And I think one of the newest attractions, I guess if you want to call it, would be Preston Jacobs' longhouse display. So there's a little bit of a joke that it's a short longhouse. So he doesn't really like hearing that, but it's very good. It's very well done. Everybody that came in last year to take a look just absolutely loved it. A lot of the community members were, in complete awe, and they want to see it again. So we're hoping to have that longhouse display again this year. It's going to be there.
It's going to be there.
So it's been confirmed.
Yeah, we're praying for good weather, that he can set it up and it'll be ready for the Friday night social. It really, I think it added such like a Haudenosaunee point of view to our powwow, because powwows are powwows, they're all over the place. And
yeah, it's pan-Indian. It's not really highlight of any one specific culture, right?
No. So for our powwow, it's nice because we add in the smoke dance, which is ours, and we have that competition. But having the longhouse really, really made such a difference, and really, really made it that it was, it was ours. This is Kahnawake's powwow now. So I think we're gonna have to get Preston for a while. Preston, are you listening?
Yeah, and powwow is one of those things, right? That it is the biggest tourist attraction the community has every year, and it's not just about making money. It's about educating and informing the surrounding communities about who we are, right?
Yeah, and the whole point of why the powwow began was to commemorate the 1990 Oka crisis, and to remind us, of our resilience, our strength, and to remain in peace, in friendship with our neighbors and with our fellow Ungohume people. So, every year to keep doing it, it brings back that reminder. Like you said, it's not just about making money, there's a deeper meaning. One
of the other events that you guys are planning for the month of July is the Strawberry Food Fest.
Yeah. So for that, it's usually a month-long event, as most of our, I guess if you want to call them fests, not festival. The Strawberry Food Fest takes place the entire month of July. We actually reach out to local businesses to see if they're interested in participating. So we offer free promotions. We advertise for them throughout the community, throughout the entire month. And basically, we just ask that they have something that's related to strawberries. So whether it be strawberry juice, a strawberry dessert, maybe even a strawberry meal.
A lot of people do like a strawberry mush, strawberry salads, strawberry rhubarb pie. It's almost lunchtime. We'll see what everybody has. But it's it's like a play on using our traditional foods in like a modern way, or showcasing our traditional foods as well.
Okay. And, besides those two big events, what else do you guys have planned for the next few months?
Yeah. So part of our Strawberry Food Fest this year is we're starting our first actual live event on July 22nd. And that's going to be similar to our Corn Fest. And if nobody's been to that, well, it's like a mini powwow, I say. So we have craft vendors, we have food vendors. We do a little bit of like a dance demonstration. People can get in and dance. And we talk about the importance of that typical food that we're talking about. So in this one, it'll be strawberries. So we might do like a strawberry juice making workshop or a strawberry mush making workshop, what we use strawberries for, what the importance is in our culture, and how it's tied to our culture. Those were created, the food fests, in a way that we could share our ceremonies with visitors without actually having the ceremony, because that is for us. And we don't want to, like I said before, we don't want to overshare. We don't want to appropriate ourselves, in our culture. And so we really want to make sure that what we're doing is proper. So having this small event where anybody's invited and we're sharing as much as we can in a respectful manner, in a fun way too.
Okay, is there anything else you guys want to add?
Oh, I don't know. We talked about so much. I just hope that people enjoy listening to our first podcast. We're excited to do this. We want to do a monthly series. And we're going to be talking about various different topics, different projects we are working on. We want to bring in special guests from locally, but also from the Indigenous tourism industry. So, our community can really learn what it is that we're doing and where we can get and the support that we have. As always, we're always approachable too. So we always hope that community members will call us and tell us what they think, whether it be good or bad. Any opinion is somebody's opinion, and we want to take that seriously. And how we grow is based on what the community wants. So, our office is almost always open. We have regular business hours, we have email, we have our phone number, which can all be found also on Facebook or our website. So there's various ways to contact us, and we always at our events too. We're very approachable. Come and talk to us, and we hope that people listen and
come take a tour too. Honestly,
oh, yeah.
It's open to community members as well, because we try to put it out there that maybe there's some community members that don't understand what we do, what we teach people, what kind of tours we actually give. So if you're ever interested in taking a tour, just book one online with us, give us a call, send us an email. And, we're always open to guests, whether you be from the community or outside the community.
Yeah, because no matter how old you are, what your experience is, there's something you're going to learn. Yeah. I guarantee it.
For sure.
And we don't just focus on the main histories. Our tour guides, they tell stories. We're storytellers.
Very
what else
personable.
Are we going to do? So, and I mean, once everybody knows who our tour guides are, they're going to be like, oh yeah, those are storytellers. And I hope we can bring them in too to this series, and maybe they can tell some stories at some point. Not so it's just all business all the time. And, really, we want to make it where this is a tourism office that's owned by the community, and we're doing things for the community.
Okay, great. And go Zilguego for listening, and tune in again next month, where we'll be talking more of our stories with Kwakaratón, the Kahnawake Tourism podcast.
The views and opinions of the guests expressed in this podcast do not reflect those of Udiwase and its employees.